Welcome to the YouTube channel, Contact Center Knowledge Hub, your one-stop solution for expert guidance, best practices, and actionable knowledge in the world of contact centers. Explore, learn, and enhance contact center skills. Welcome to this session on the average speed of answer, or ASA, one of the most critical metrics in any call center. ASA doesn't exist in isolation. It directly, and sometimes indirectly, impacts many other key performance indicators, from service levels and call abandonment rates to customer satisfaction, agent productivity, and even operational costs. By understanding these relationships and trade-offs, call centers can strike the right balance between speed, quality, and cost, ensuring a better experience for both customers and agents. Let's begin by looking at the relationship between average speed of answer, or ASA, and service level compliance, two metrics that are closely tied together. Service level measures the percentage of calls answered within a predefined time frame, often set by SLAs. For example, a common target might be to answer 80% of calls within 0 seconds. Here's where ASA comes into play. When ASA is low, meaning calls are answered quickly, service level compliance rises, often exceeding the target. But as ASA increases, if customers are waiting longer in the queue, the percentage of calls answered within the SLA window drops, leading to missed targets and potential SLA penalties. For instance, when ASA is just 15 seconds, service level might be 85%, comfortably meeting the 80-20 goal. But if ASA climbs to 35 seconds, service level could fall sharply to 60%, far below the commitment. The key insight is clear: ASA and service level move together. Controlling ASA isn't just about speed, it's essential for meeting SLA obligations and ensuring customer expectations are consistently met. Now, let's explore how average speed of answer, or ASA, impacts the call abandonment rate. The correlation here is straightforward. Longer ASA means customers are waiting too long in the queue. As a result, many hang up before speaking to an agent, causing the abandonment rate to rise. Conversely, when ASA is kept low and calls are answered quickly, fewer customers abandon the call, leading to better customer retention and satisfaction. Let's take an example. With an ASA of just 15 seconds, the abandonment rate might be as low as 3%, a healthy indicator of customer trust. But when ASA rises to 50 seconds, abandonment can jump to 15%, meaning a significant portion of customers give up before getting help. The insight here is critical. Managing ASA effectively prevents lost revenue opportunities and protects customer trust. A low abandonment rate not only improves operational efficiency but also strengthens the overall customer experience. Next, let's examine the relationship between average speed of answer, or ASA, and average handle time, or AHT, two metrics that often influence each other. ASA measures how long customers wait before reaching an agent, while AHT focuses on how long agents spend handling the call once connected. Here's where the challenge arises. If you try to lower ASA drastically without adding more staff, agents have to take more calls in less time. This can lead to agents rushing through conversations, which might increase AHT because of mistakes, repeat calls, or reduced quality. For example, reducing ASA from 40 seconds to 20 seconds without increasing staff might seem like a win for speed, but agents now have higher workloads, and AHT may rise as a result. The key insight? ASA and AHT must be managed in balance. Workforce optimization should ensure that improving one metric doesn't negatively impact the other, or worse, hurt the customer experience. Now, let's look at how average speed of answer, or ASA, correlates with first call resolution, or FCR, one of the most critical measures of call center quality. Here's the relationship. When there's too much focus on reducing ASA, agents might feel pressured to rush through calls just to keep wait times low. This can lead to incomplete resolutions, resulting in more repeat calls and lower FCR scores. On the other hand, when ASA is well balanced, agents have enough time to understand customer needs and resolve issues in a single interaction, leading to higher FCR. The key insight is clear. Maintaining an optimal ASA ensures agents can work efficiently without sacrificing quality. Speed matters, but resolving customer problems fully the first time builds trust, reduces repeat volume, and improves the overall customer experience. Next, let's explore the link between average speed of answer, or ASA, and two vital customer experience metrics: customer satisfaction, CSAT, and Net Promoter Score, NPS. Generally, a lower ASA means customers get faster answers, which naturally leads to higher CSAT and NPS scores. Quick responses often create a positive first impression, reducing frustration and enhancing the customer's overall experience. However, here's the risk. If calls are rushed simply to keep ASA low, the quality of problem resolution can suffer. This might leave customers dissatisfied despite short wait times. For example, ASA is equal to 15 seconds with high first call resolution, FCR, might result in CSAT scores of 90%. But the same 15-second ASA with low FCR could drop CSAT to 60 cause issues aren't fully resolved. The key insight is this: ASA affects CSAT and NPS indirectly. It's not just about speed. Speed plus effective resolution is what drives real customer satisfaction and loyalty. Now, let's look at the relationship between average speed of answer, or ASA, and agent occupancy and utilization, two metrics that reflect how efficiently your workforce is being used. When ASA is low, agents are answering more calls per hour, which naturally leads to higher occupancy and utilization rates. At first glance, this seems ideal. Your team is busy, queues are moving fast, and customers aren't waiting long. But here's the risk: when occupancy consistently rises above 85%, agents may begin to feel overworked or burnt out. Over time, this can actually lead to longer ASAs because fatigued agents work less efficiently and staff turnover might increase. The key insight is balance. ASA should be kept low to serve customers quickly, but never at the cost of agent well-being. A sustainable occupancy level ensures both operational efficiency and employee satisfaction. Now let's examine the link between average speed of answer, or ASA, and cost per call, a relationship that directly affects the financial performance of a contact center. On one side, reducing ASA often means adding more agents to handle calls quickly. While this helps keep customers satisfied, it also raises operational costs due to higher staffing requirements. On the other side, if ASA is too high, customers may abandon calls, leading to lost revenue opportunities and increased customer churn costs. The real challenge lies in finding the balance, keeping ASA low enough to provide a great customer experience, but not so low that operational expenses become unsustainable. The insight here is clear. The goal isn't the lowest possible ASA, but the optimal ASA that balances cost efficiency with service quality. Finally, let's look at how average speed of answer, or ASA, is influenced by forecast accuracy and schedule adherence, two pillars of effective workforce management. When forecasting is inaccurate, Call centers risk understaffing during peak periods, leading to longer wait times and higher ASA. The opposite can also happen. Overstaffing unnecessarily raises costs without improving service quality. Equally important is schedule adherence. Even with perfect forecasts, if agents aren't available when they're scheduled to be, ASA will spike because fewer agents are handling the expected call volume. The insight here is straightforward. Accurate forecasting and strong schedule adherence work together to keep ASA within SLA targets, ensuring that service levels, costs, and customer experiences remain balanced. To summarize, the average speed of answer, or ASA, connects directly or indirectly to nearly every major call center metric. Lower ASA improves service level compliance, keeping SLA targets on track. Longer ASA leads to higher abandonment rates, risking customer trust and revenue. Faster ASA without proper staffing can drive higher average handle time or lower call quality. Optimal ASA supports higher first call resolution, ensuring issues are solved on the first attempt. Lower ASA boosts CSAT and NPS scores, but only when call quality is maintained. Lower ASA increases occupancy, but too much strain risks agent burnout over time. Reducing ASA may raise costs, so the balance between speed and expenses is critical. Finally, accurate forecasting and schedule adherence keep ASA stable, preventing service level breaches. Together, these correlations highlight that ASA is not just about speed, it's about balancing efficiency, cost, and customer experience. Thanks for watching my YouTube channel, Contact Center Knowledge Hub. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights. See you in the next video.